Hey, hello everyone. My name is Elena Kussler and I'm the program director at the Parkinson Association of the Rockies. I just wanted to say a quick thank you for joining us today. We're so glad to be able to offer this webinar, very timely webinar as we head into the holiday season. And I also want to thank Priscilla Brenes, right,
Yes, yes.
for joining us and sharing her wisdom with us as we delve into nutrition and Parkinson's. So a couple of quick housekeeping items for you all before we start. We will be holding the Q&A session towards the very end of the presentation. There are a couple of different ways that you can ask your questions. If you navigate over to your control panel for a GoToWebinar, there should be a little questions tab. Go ahead and click that down, type in your questions. Those questions will be sent directly to me. If there's something a little more technical, I'll answer them straight away, but any questions related to the content will hold until the end and I'll ask them at that time. Another option is if you'd like to ask your question verbally, there should be a little raise your hand function that you can click. I'll make note of who's raised their hand and then I can unmute you and you can ask your question directly. In addition to questions, there are handouts available for you all in the control panel. Again, there should be a little handouts tab that you can click down and download those PDFs directly onto your computer. Those will also be available through a link in the follow-up email sent out tomorrow around this time. So keep an eye out for that and then you can download both of them that way as well. Just an FYI, this is being recorded, so we'll be sure to include that recording in the follow-up email and it will be posted to our YouTube channel, hopefully later this week once we get it all edited down. The handouts will also be available then. Also, if after the presentation you could fill out our survey, it should be available right there. That would be much appreciated. It helps us in developing all of our future content and gives us feedback on our programming. So I'll just do a quick little plug there and then I'll go ahead and turn over my power to you.
Okay. Okay, let's see if I did show my screen. Okay, yes. Well, before I say anything, I just want to thank everybody for being here and Elena for inviting me to do this webinar. I'm really excited to talk about nutrition and Parkinson's. So I hope you enjoy it and um, yeah, let's start with it. So let's see if I can do this the right way. Oh wait, Elena,
I think if you can just click on the presentation one more time and it should hopefully advance.
okay.
Oh,
Is it advancing now?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so welcome to the presentation. My name is Priscilla Brenes. I have a master's degree in public health and I'm doing my doctoral degree in public health nutrition with an emphasis in Parkinson's and nutrition in Parkinson's. And I'm from Kansas State University. So my hope is that after watching this webinar, that you'll understand what healthy eating is and what foods are best for Parkinson's, and hopefully a few tips on how to stay healthy over the holidays. I just want to remember that we are, like each one of us, can be self-advocates for our nutrition and our health, and that nutrition can be part of your medicine too, and your therapies. So as an outline, sorry, I'm hiding here the panel. Okay, so as an outline, I'm going to talk about what a healthy plate looks like and what foods are best for Parkinson's, and I'm going to end up with some tips for the holidays. So the objectives will be to understand what healthy eating is, to understand what foods are not ideal for Parkinson's, and understand what are some healthy eating tips for the holidays. So first, let's start with what a healthy diet is. So a healthy diet is a diet that maintains you in good health, that is optimal for all your needs, that is flexible and has variety. And we're going to talk about this throughout the webinar. So I want to start with the National Institutes of Health and what they recommend for people or older adults in general. They say that we should eat a combination of these 5 food groups. There are fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. And I know here they don't include the fats or oils, and it's because they include them in any preparation you do with these 5 food groups. For example, you will need oil to make um, rice, or you will need some type of fat to make bread, or you will need some type of uh, oil to do some eggs or cook some meat, or if you add some dressing to your vegetables. So the more variety you have in your diet, the better your diet will be. And you can assess variety in your diet or in your plate and ask yourself, how many colors do I see in my plate right now? So the more colors you see in your plate, the more variety and the more vitamins and minerals you're going to get. Because some of the colors, like fruits that are of one color, let's say yellow, and fruits that are green, they contain different vitamins and minerals. So we want to get all of what we can. So that's why it's important to have a colorful diet. They also advise to change some of the high calorie snacks for some more healthy. So for example, if you eat chips, maybe you can change that for something that is more nutrient dense, like some baby carrots. And nutrient dense means that it will give you plenty of vitamins and minerals in a small portion, or the serving of that particular item. Now, high calorie means that it usually has a lot of calories in just one serving. They also advise that if you eat some fruit products with added sugars, that you change that for fresh fruit. And this is because if you look in the label of those fruit products with added sugars, you'll find out that usually the fruits are not at the beginning of the ingredient list. So if you want to know the 3 most prominent ingredients in a processed food, read the ingredients label, and the 3 first are the most prominent ingredients in that food. And usually when something is strawberry flavor, or you look at strawberries in the front packaging, if you turn it around and read the ingredients label, you'll find out that it's strawberry powder or strawberry just flavor. And there are no strawberries or real strawberries in that particular food. They also advise to change sugary soft drinks for flavored water with fruits and vegetables, and this can be adding a couple of wedges of lemon or lime to your water, or some pieces of berries in your water to make it taste not just like water, but with some hint of any fruit or vegetable. And regular cola, it's usually packed with added sugars, and that means that it's going to be very high in calories, but also they will not provide nutrients like vitamins and minerals. So if you're a person with Parkinson's or a care partner and you want your person with Parkinson to increase weight, sometimes people say like, hey, just give more sugar or more ice cream. And yes, it contains calories, and yes, it will help increase weight, but it will give little nutritional value. It will give little vitamins and minerals. So if you are trying to increase weight, maybe you can add avocado to a smoothie. So you're including there fresh fruit and avocado that is really high in calories. It the flavor is not very overpowering, and it will give you healthy fats. So it will give you calories and healthy fats. You can also include some nuts, some mixed nuts in oatmeal or in the smoothie too. It can all be blended, and it will add healthy fats, calories, and also some omega 3s. So adding calories not just it doesn't mean just adding sugar or fat. Just think about other foods that can also give you other nutritional values. Now, oils, just make sure that you get healthy oils or healthy plant oils like olive oil, canola, sunflower, corn. These are healthier oils or healthier fats than butter, margarine, lard, and shortening. And I know that over the holidays, uh, all these pastries and pies, they have butter and shortening, and other preparations may have lard in them. And these fats are saturated fats, and they make food taste good. I'm not gonna lie, I like pies and I like the taste of butter too, especially in pastries. It tastes pretty good. But what the healthy uh, or a healthy diet means is that it's flexible. That even if you had some, pie that included shortening or butter, that you're aware of what you're eating. And if you already know that you ate a lot of saturated fat, then maybe the rest of the day or the rest of the week or the rest of the month, you choose more healthier fats like oils like olive oil or canola oil. The National Institutes of Health also recommend to have a food diary. This is important because when you have a food diary, you're actually writing down what you eat every day, and at the end of the week you can assess that and evaluate your diet and say like, oh, I didn't eat a lot of fruits this week. So then you can set a goal for yourself next week. For example, well, if I ate only 2 fruits last week, then next week I'm going to make the goal to eat 3 fruits, and so on. So having a food diary is really important for you to know what you're eating and to set goals for yourself. Now, reading labels is very important because not everything that seems healthy in the front package will be healthy when you read the label. So if it says low fat, doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. Sometimes something that says low fat, if you read the label, it will be very high in added sugars. So just make sure that you always read the label, that you pay attention to how much calories per serving there are, how much added sugars, how much protein, how much fiber, and also read the ingredients. If the first 3 ingredients in the list you see sugar, then that means that that product is very high in sugar. So just be mindful when you go out to the grocery store. Now, to recap what healthy eating is, it maintains you in good health. So what I mean by this is that if you know there's something that makes you sick, for example, if I am allergic to peanuts or any type of tree nut, then I know that I cannot eat those products. Or if I'm allergic to shellfish, sorry, then I know that's something I cannot eat, but I can balance the rest of my diet to maintain me in good health. It's optimal for your needs, so that means that in any stage you are in your life, it will supply all the nutrients and vitamins you need. It is flexible. So for example, if you encounter a diet that is very restrictive and they only let you eat about 10 items, 10 food items, then that is a very restrictive diet. It is not flexible and it is not healthy for your body because our bodies need plenty of vitamins and minerals and other antioxidants that I'm going to talk a little bit about later. So make sure that it's flexible. And also flexible means that you can also eat your favorite dessert if it doesn't make you sick, of course. Uh, for example, if you have diabetes and your favorite dessert is something very sugary, just be mindful that it can make you really sick, right? But if you don't have any like major restriction with your favorite dessert, you can have your favorite dessert, but just be mindful on when you're going to have it, how much you're going to have of it, and what are you going to do to help balance what you just ate. So for example, um, for me, Thanksgiving means pecan pie. Honestly, I love pecan pie. But pecan pie is the most high calorie pie there is in the pie family. So, uh, I know that for Thanksgiving, I am gonna eat pecan pie, but I'm gonna eat a small piece and I'm gonna enjoy it and I'm gonna pay attention to it. So that is mean being flexible. I'm gonna eat what I like, but also I'm not gonna overeat about all of that. So I'm not gonna eat half of the pecan pie. I'm just gonna eat a small portion. It has variety, and here again, look at your plate. How many colors do you see? Plenty of fruits and vegetables will help you get all the vitamins and minerals your body needs. So, what are foods that are not ideal for Parkinson's? Some of them are canned fruits and vegetables, and here are the canned ones. Okay, this is because fruits and vegetables that are in a can are very highly processed, and some of the nutrients they had in their original form, they don't have it when they are canned. Diet and non-diet soda, fried foods, beef, ice cream or dairy, and junk food. Now, these foods are not ideal for Parkinson's because they alter your gut microbiota and they increase the risk of inflammation. And some of them are really high in calories and they don't provide a lot of nutritional value. So in research, these foods have been associated with a rapid progression of Parkinson's disease. Does that mean that if you go to a Thanksgiving dinner, you cannot have a diet soda? No, it doesn't mean that. It means that don't do it on a regular basis. Don't eat all of these foods on a regular basis because they can be detrimental for your health. And I know a lot of people with Parkinson's, they love ice cream. So I'm not saying that you should not have ice cream. I'm just saying that uh, just be moderate in the amount of ice cream you have. Now, you look at this not foods that are not ideal for Parkinson's, you see their dairy. So there's a dilemma with dairy. Some researchers have found that dairy may contain a neurotoxin, so a toxin that is bad for your neurons, that is due to pesticides. And also, dairy lowers uric acid in the body. And a high level of uric acid has been associated with a lower risk of Parkinson's. So we don't want uric acid to be low. However, dairy products are a very good source of calcium, and fermented dairy products can help balance your gut microbiota. So that's where that dilemma turns in. So researchers say, like, we don't have enough evidence to say don't eat dairy because they found some things, but they're not conclusive. So they say, like, even though we found this, dairy is a good source of calcium and probiotics. So honestly, it's really up to you if you want to take dairy out of your diet or not. If you decide, or you are a vegetarian and you don't have dairy, or if you decide to not eat dairy anymore, just have in mind that any substitution that you're gonna have, uh, always make sure that it is fortified with calcium and vitamin D, because those are the two most important vitamins and minerals that dairy can provide our bodies. And also there are other type of fermented products that will give you probiotics to maintain your good good microbiota healthy. So for example, instead of having milk kefir, you can have water kefir. You can have kombucha. You can have sauerkraut or any type of pickled vegetable. Those will provide you with probiotics. But I'm not telling you that stop eating dairy because honestly, the research out there for dairy is not very conclusive. So if you still want to eat dairy. It will provide you with calcium and good gut microbiota. So what are some better foods to include for people with Parkinson's? So the first, frozen fruits and vegetables. The frozen and fresh are the same. They're equivalent. Sometimes we find fresh fruits and vegetables for very cheap because they're in season, and some other times they're very expensive because they're not in season. But maybe we can find them in the frozen section, and they may be at an accessible price. So frozen and fresh on fruits and vegetables are the same. So whatever you can find is great. Lean meats and lean poultry, nuts and seeds, they will give you fiber, they will give you omega-3s, and they will give you protein. And here, sources of omega-3s are nuts and seeds, and also some fatty fish like salmon or sardines. They will give you omega-3s, and omega-3s are great to prevent brain toxicity or to decrease the brain inflammation that then can lead to cognitive decline. So make sure that you include nuts and seeds at least 5 times a day, 5 times a week, an ounce of nuts and seeds 5 times a week, and that you include any type of fish either once or twice a week. Tea and coffee. Tea and coffee will help you keep yourself hydrated, and also they have antioxidant components that will help decrease inflammation in the body. Now, research says that people with Parkinson's have a higher degree of inflammation in the body. Now, every person has some kind, or some level of inflammation in the body. But people with Parkinson's, that level is increased. So what we want through food is provide enough antioxidants and vitamins and minerals that will help decrease that inflammation so the progression of Parkinson's is not that rapid, or try to slow down the progression of Parkinson's. And tea and coffee are great for this purpose. Whole grains. Whole grains will give you plenty of fiber that will help you with constipation and will also help you have a healthy gut microbiota. And herbs and spices. They not only give flavor and aroma to your dishes, but they also give you plenty of antioxidants that will help fight that inflammation. Now, I took this from the Harvard Chan School of Public Health, and it's a picture of what a healthy plate looks like. And you may have seen this before because the USDA also promotes a healthy plate like this. So if you look closely, half of your plate should be vegetables and fruits, 1/4 should be whole grains, and the other fourth should be a healthy protein. Now, if you do have your plates fruits and vegetables, make sure that sorry, make sure that they're very colorful, okay? That you can get a lot of different vitamins and minerals from your fruits and vegetables. Whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, oatmeal, or whole wheat are good examples of whole grains. And healthy protein, this can be fish, lean poultry, lean meats, but also you can include here some plant sources of protein like beans or any type of legumes like garbanzo beans, peas, and also nuts and seeds. They fall into this protein category. Now, if you look at the top right, we have water. So it is very important to keep yourself hydrated throughout the day. And at the top left, you have healthy oils. Those are the ones you're going to use to cook the food that is in your plate. So if you go to a holiday party or a holiday gathering, just make sure that when you're putting things on your plate, that you follow this healthy plate. So have your plate, put vegetables or some type of fruit, and then 1/4 of any grain that they are serving, and then 1/4 of the protein of your choice that they're serving over there. Some examples of whole grains are wheat berries, oatmeal, quinoa, brown rice, buckwheat, corn, barley, and amaranth. And Elena gave me some questions that some of you submitted. And one of the questions was, how do I know if I live in an assisted living? How do I know if they're giving me um, healthy food for Parkinson's? And one of the ways is to ask yourself, what type of grain are they serving you? Are they giving you oatmeal? Well, that's good. That's a whole grain. Are they giving you corn or quinoa or brown rice? Those are whole grains. So they are giving you good food that will help add some nutrients like vitamins B in your diet and also fiber to help fight constipation. Now about staying hydrated. Coffee, as I said before, coffee and tea are great for staying hydrated. And be mindful that when a person with Parkinson's is dehydrated, because there's there's a previous motor dysfunction in the body, when somebody with Parkinson's is dehydrated, those symptoms get exacerbated. So, for example, if you have trouble with balance and you're dehydrated, the risk of falls increases because dehydration creates weakness, creates brain fog, headaches, and if you have orthostatic hypotension, dehydration can lower your blood pressure even more. So make sure that you stay hydrated. And try not to drink a lot of soft drinks or drinks that are very high in sugar because, again, they will provide you with a lot of calories but little nutritional value like vitamins or minerals or any antioxidant like tea and coffee would do. And the last thing I want to talk about this picture is over here, this little running man. So staying active is very important for your health, but also for your digestion. When you, for example, go for a walk before dinner or before lunch, your digestion after you eat your meal will be smoother. It will be better because exercise help that process of digestion. And also, staying active is really important if you're constipated. So let's say you are doing great getting all your fiber through fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And you're staying on top of your hydration. You are drinking your water, you're drinking your fluids. Well, making some exercise will also help the food go through the digestive system and will prevent also constipation. Now I want to talk about some foods that researchers have found that are great for Parkinson's. So for example, berries, any type of berry, blueberry, elderberry, strawberry, blackberry, any type of berry have polyphenols or flavonols. So these polyphenols or flavonols are compounds that the plant uses to fight whatever in the environment damage the plant. So for example, free radicals are compounds that form in the environment that can damage cells, either plant cells or human cells. So plants develop these polyphenols and flavonols to fight that inflammation, that damage in cells. So when we eat these products, those polyphenols and those flavonols also helps our bodies to fight inflammation, to fight damage on cells. And the way that they work is that these polyphenols can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier is a barrier around your brain that protects your brain from the rest of your body. So there are a lot of things that cannot cross that blood-brain barrier because your brain is very delicate and it needs to be protected. But these polyphenols, they can actually cross that barrier And what they do inside is that they scavenge for these free radicals that what they are doing is damaging cells. So they scavenge for these free radicals and activate other processes in the brain to get rid of these free radicals. So they prevent cell damage and they prevent inflammation. Now, walnuts and fishes rich in omegas, like omega-6, omega-3, they are great for Parkinson's because as we age, the good fats in our bodies and especially in our brains start to decrease. And walnuts and fish have these healthy good fats that our brain needs. So what they do is that they prevent toxic compounds to deposit inside our neurons, preventing that brain toxicity. So studies have shown that a high consumption of fish can actually reduce cognitive decline, and that some type of omega DHA can actually protect against toxicity and protect against cognitive impairment. So these are really good to include in the diet, especially because Parkinson's it's a brain um, disease. So it's important to keep our brain healthy with these healthy fats so that we can have less brain toxicity and a slower progression of Parkinson's. Now, turmeric has proven to be anti-inflammatory and anti-cancerous, and this goes in the herbs and spices category. Turmeric is full of polyphenols and other antioxidant compounds that can help reduce inflammation in the body. How can you use turmeric? Well, there are many recipes you can find online, but you can add it to your chicken. You can add some. You can add some to hot water and do some turmeric tea. And also, I hope this video works. Um, I have this video about what is golden milk and how to make it. So let's watch it. And this is another way you can have turmeric in your diet and also stay warm during this winter season.
Turmeric milk is loaded with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds, and it's perfect if you have an autoimmune condition like I do. It's also a great soothing and relaxing drink to enjoy before bedtime. So let's dive in. Add 2 cups of your favorite non-dairy milk to a pot. I'm using coconut milk, but you can also use almond milk or cashew milk. To that, add 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, which helps your body absorb the turmeric, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and a tablespoon or so of your favorite sweetener. Give it a good stir and then let the milk simmer for about 10 minutes so that all the flavors meld together. Then pour your turmeric milk into a cup and enjoy it. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss it.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Oh, there you go. So that's turmeric milk, and this is the recipe that she was talking about. It's also in your handouts if you want to try it. I've tried it, and um, it's really good because it tastes mostly like cinnamon. Uh, so it's very when I drink it, I just feel very cozy and warm after it. So something to try. And the last food I want to talk about is dark green vegetables or leafy greens. These vegetables have something that's called folate. That is a vitamin. Uh, uh, Not a vitamin, a mineral, sorry. So folate is very important because it regulates something in the body that's called homocysteine. Now, in people with Parkinson's, when homocysteine is very high, it actually increases the progression of Parkinson's. Now, what folate does is regulate that compound so it's not very high, so it will help to slow down the progression of Parkinson's. So make sure that you eat vegetables that are dark green because they will have folate in them. Let's just see how much I'm doing with time. Okay, so healthy tips for the holidays. So the first thing will be to be choosy, to have a plan and choose your calories wisely. What I mean by this is that if you know what type of foods are gonna be in that holiday gathering, that you make a plan of what you're gonna eat, how much you're gonna eat, and when you're gonna eat it. So for example, for this Thanksgiving, I am gonna eat a piece of pecan pie, definitely. So I probably, on my plate, I will probably fill it up with some more vegetables than usual and protein and a little bit of any carbohydrate or any source of whole grains that there are, and then eat a small piece of pecan pie. And that's my plan for Thanksgiving. If you go without a plan to any holiday gathering, something that can happen is that you end up eating everything on the dessert table. Um, and then you will be adding a lot of sugar and a lot of saturated fat to your diet. Also, take a break before eating seconds. So let's say you walk uh, down the table and you pick whatever you want to eat, you finish eating. So take at least 10 minutes before eating a second plate. Why? Because it takes time for your stomach to tell your brain that it's full, that it doesn't need any more food. So make sure that you take at least 10 minutes in between eating seconds. If after 10 minutes you're still hungry, then go 8 seconds. But if after 10 minutes you're not hungry, then that's your body telling you, I'm good to go. I don't need any more food. Also, eat eat mindfully and not mindlessly. Have you ever sat in front of the TV to watch a movie with a bucket of popcorn and after 10 minutes you realize you don't have any more popcorn? Well, that is eating mindlessly. You're eating without paying attention to how much and what you're eating. So during these holiday gatherings, be mindful of how much you're eating and what you're eating. Pay attention to your food, sit down, enjoy enjoy how they look, enjoy the flavor, enjoy the smells. Chew your food. This will help with digestion, and the golden rule is 30 times. However, there are foods that cannot be chewed 30 times because by the time you're on your fifth chew, it's all melted. So just be mindful that you chew your food because it will also help to have a better digestion, and also it will help your stomach tell your brain when you are full. Some people will believe that if they don't eat anything uh, before the gathering, they will be healthier at the gathering. But that's completely false. Studies have shown that when you fast or when you stop eating because you have a holiday gathering or a big important dinner, that you go to that gathering or that party so hungry that you end up eating more than you actually need in the entire day. So, if you're going to a holiday party, a holiday gathering, just have a snack. Don't go on an empty stomach and make sure that it's something that has whole grain and some protein because this will help you keep full longer. Now, drink water in between alcoholic drinks. If you like to drink eggnog or any type of alcoholic drinks, make sure that you stay hydrated because alcohol will dehydrate you. So in between alcoholic drinks, drink a glass of water. Also pick a smaller plate. It doesn't matter the size of the plate, we are always gonna wanna have everything on our plate. Most people will just, including myself, I will try to put as much as I can on my plate. Uh, but if you pick a smaller plate, chances are that you're gonna eat less if you uh, fill up all your plate. Now, if in your gathering you have dancers, you can dance before the dinner or the lunch because exercise can help your digestion go smoother. And also, sometimes you can take a walk around the neighborhood before the meal, and that will also help. Eat your veggies. Now, with the veggies, it's important that you make the distinction on veggies that are very high in calories and those that are not. Because green beans are great, but sometimes green beans are topped with very high calorie ingredients or in a creamy sauce that is very high in saturated fat. So just be mindful of the type of vegetables you're eating and how much fat they they have on top. If you're doing the cooking, you can maybe look some substitutions in the internet on how to make your favorite dish healthier, and that way you can decrease the calories of your cooking. And the last tip is just to have fun. Enjoy your holiday, enjoy your friends, your family, and yeah, just have fun. I did provide another handout on healthy tips for different times of the year. And for example, for Thanksgiving, that's the one coming up, it says that avoid overeating at dinner time. Enjoy your favorite high calorie foods in smaller portions. And also to make time to be physically active most days of the week to help relieve holiday stress. Now, that's in your handout, and as I said before, you can find something for Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, the Super Bowl. And also, they have foods that are traditional for each holiday and some healthier alternatives. So in the handout, you can look the handout, and if you're cooking, maybe you can do some modifications. If you're not cooking, maybe this will help you um, decide what types of foods are you gonna eat during your gathering. Now, Elena did send me some the submitted questions. Some of you um, gave her. So there were some questions about orthostatic hypotension and head rushes. So if you have this condition, salty soups can help you. Want to stay hydrated, and the salt will help increase your blood pressure. Cold water can help you also to increase your blood pressure. So before, arising or getting up from your nap or your couch, have cold water. And what you can do is to put bottles of water in the freezer and then just take them out. And for example, if you're taking a nap, then just put it on a table next to where you're taking a nap. And then when you wake up from your nap, then it probably would have melted and then you have cold water to drink. If you have this condition, you should eat smaller meals and reduce alcohol intake. And when I mean smaller meals, is not smaller meaning in terms of calories. I am what I mean by this is that your meals should be smaller portions but more frequent. So for example, if you only do 3 meals a day, then maybe you can break down those 3 meals and do 5 meals a day, but in smaller portions. That will help uh, your blood pressure to regulate a little bit. Hot drinks, hot foods, and meals rich in carbohydrates may decrease your blood pressure. So if you're going to a holiday party and on the table you see a lot of carbohydrates or a lot of grains, just be mindful that if you eat too much of them, your blood pressure could lower. And also, dehydration and alcohol can lower your blood pressure, so make sure that you are hydrated. Another question was medication and protein. It doesn't matter the name of your medication. If it's levodopa, then uh, take your levodopa or your medication 30 minutes to an hour before any high protein meal. And by a high protein meal, I mean either a steak or red meat, chicken, fish, nuts and seeds, or beans or any type of legume. Because protein and levodopa will compete to get inside the cell and inside the brain when we actually where we actually want the levodopa, right? We want this medication to go up to the brain. So protein will compete with levodopa, and protein will always win. So if you're taking your medication, make sure that it's 30 minutes to an hour before a high protein meal. I'm not saying that you should change your medication schedule as your doctor prescribed. No, no, no. Just do your medication schedule as your doctor prescribed. What you can change is when you eat according to your medication. So be mindful of that. And also, if you take your medication and it gives you some nausea, you can try a cracker, a toast, or some type of neutral flavored carbohydrate. Because if you take something that is really high in fat or really high in sugar, it can also cause discomfort. But really, this point is about experimenting. I've talked to some people that a cracker, a toast, and a lot of other foods have not worked, and they found that a piece of angel cake worked for them to not be nauseous in the morning when they take their medication. So, I don't want anybody to go around having nausea and feeling bad because a cracker or a toast didn't work. So if a cracker and a toast doesn't work for you, um, just experiment a little bit with other foods and see what does the trick for you. And also, a full glass of water will dissolve the medication completely. So make sure that anytime you take your medication, you take a full glass of water. Take this as part of your hydration regimen. If you take medication 6 times a day, then that means 6 glasses of water. And that is all I have for today. So are there any questions?
Yes, we had quite a few come in as you were talking. So our first question comes from Krishnan, and he asks, what about sesame oil? Is it good or bad?
Um, Sesame oil is good. Sesame seeds are good too. And sesame oil can also be used to flavor the rice. And sesame seeds will also give you healthy fats. So yeah, it is good.
Awesome. And I'll just really briefly go over how to ask questions, just in case people weren't able to find it. If you navigate over to your control panel for GoToWebinar, you should see a little questions tab. You can type your questions in there, and I'll ask the questions out loud like I just did. Or if you'd rather ask your question directly, you should be able to see a little raise hand function that you can click, and I will unmute you and you can ask your question directly. So I have a couple other questions for you that came in during your presentation. And this question comes from David, and his question is, how about sports drinks like Gatorade, sugar-free?
With sports drinks, there is some kind of, I won't say dilemma, but some kind of like a murky water, because sports drinks are made for athletes, and they are made for people that does exercise more than an hour, like an hour straight. So that's why those drinks are made for. Now, if you're a person with Parkinson's and I don't know, you went to the zoo with your daughter or your granddaughter and it was really hot. Can you drink Gatorade? Yes. It will provide you with electrolytes that will help you stay hydrated and with water that will help you stay hydrated. Now, I will not recommend you drink Gatorade every day, even, just like for a drink with a meal, uh, because it can also upset your stomach. All those electrolytes can also upset the stomach if your body doesn't need them. So just be mindful when you take them. If you feel dehydrated because you were in a high temperature climate or you've been doing a lot of exercise more than an hour and you've been sweating a lot, then yes, drink the Gatorade, but not as substitution of water every day.
Awesome. Our next question comes in from Susan, and she asks, what kind of artificial sweeteners can be used instead of regular sugar?
Well, right now there are a lot of artificial sweeteners. Um, some that are very plant-based, like I think it's called stevia, and there's another one that I forgot the name of, but it's kind of green, the package, and all others that are like the most known ones since decades ago, like saccharin or um, Splenda. But with artificial sweeteners, I would say that we don't have enough research to say that they're bad, but also we don't have enough research to say that they're good. So if you can, I don't know, have your tea without any type of sweetener, that's great. If you need to have your tea or your coffee with um, some type of sweetener and you want to use any synthetic sweetener or natural sweetener, that's good too. Just um, the thing is that we don't have enough evidence to say that artificial sweeteners are bad, but they do change your gut microbiota. So that's something to be mindful about because they change your gut microbiota in a bad way. So we want our gut microbiota to be as healthy as possible, and artificial sweeteners consumed in a high quantity will not help with that.
And from my own understanding, the flip side of that is those fermented foods like pickles and sauerkraut kind of help with your microbiota.
Yes.
Is that correct? Cool. I love sourdough bread, which is
Yeah.
yeah.
I love sour bread too.
Yeah. Our next question comes from Robert, and he asks, what about supplements if you can't or don't like foods with omega-3s or 6s or other healthier foods?
Yeah, with supplements, always ask your doctor because some type of supplements may interfere with all the medications you may be taking. Because you may not only be taking medication for Parkinson's, you may be taking medications for other conditions. So ask your doctor. As for omega-3, um, well, first ask your doctor. But if you don't eat fish or nuts, uh, just like, for example, myself, I am allergic to fish and shellfish. So I do have a supplement. I do take a supplement for omega-3s because I don't get them enough from my diet. So I do take a supplement because I cannot eat the other foods. If you want to take a supplement because you don't eat certain foods, then that's something you can do, but ask your doctor if they're safe and have in mind that supplements are not regulated by the FDA and some supplements may or may not contain what they say on the label. So if you ask your doctor, they may help you uh, get a more reliable supplement because not everything you can find over the counter is the best. So they may have some insight on what supplements are reliable and what not. Mhm.
Awesome. This question comes from Carrie, and she asks about sweet and low. She's heard that sweet and low is particularly bad for Parkinson's.
Yeah, I want to say I've heard that too, but I have not read enough about it to make to answer her question. So I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. I am not seeing any other questions come in. A couple of thank yous from a couple of people. So, with that, I would like to maybe give a couple more seconds, but I will also mention again, there is a survey. Oh, we have another question. This question comes from PETA and he asks about caffeine-free coffee.
Yeah, caffeine-free coffee can also have some antioxidants, but there's some studies that say that caffeine also helps Parkinson's with the motor function side. But if you don't like or you cannot take caffeine, you can also get some antioxidants from uh, decaf or other types of flavored teas like blueberry tea or white tea. So you can get all those antioxidants from other sources too.
Awesome. Okay, so I don't see any other
Oh, I want to say something.
questions. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sorry, I forgot. I I did or I'm doing a program. It's a self-paced nutrition class for Parkinson's. So the program is running right now. But if some of you are interested to be part of it next year, like in January, I can reopen the course and you can take it. I talk about basic nutrition, gut health, inflammation in Parkinson's, constipation and hydration, and also medication and protein interaction. So if you're interested in taking the course or something you would like to do, just email me, and if I have enough people, I can reopen the class.
Awesome. Thank you for mentioning that. I will include your email in the follow-up email for tomorrow, and people can contact you that way. So keep an eye out for that. That should come out right around this time tomorrow once all of the video is done processing. So, yeah. I think with that, I'll go ahead and say thank you so much again for
Oh, thank you.
presenting for us. It was awesome, and I mean, I'm gonna go eat some berries right now. And yeah, so thank you again. And if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Please fill out our survey and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for attending.